So readers of my blog will remember that last year Ludwig the Lost, acting on behalf of Friedrich the Foxlord of Vergessenland, stole a golden coronet from the dwarf Warhammer, one of his ancestors' graves, I should say. And now the dwarves are coming for vengeance. And here we have Niklas of Old World fame, who's going to talk us through his army list.
Yes, starting from this side, we got some warriors with grey weapons and shields, with a Thane, Rorik, Elf, Cleaver. Got 2 stone throwers, a flame cannon, a unit of iron breakers led by a rune lord. In the forest we have 12 rangers with shields, a gyrocopter, and 20 slayers. And hidden underground we have 20 miners ready to use the old tunnels to appear from out of nowhere.
And defending the honour of Vergessenwald, we've got a unit of pistoliers here. We've got a unit of spearmen with a detachment of archers, crossbowmen, the obligatory great cannon, another unit of pistoliers with marksmen because they're so cool, knights of the inner circle of the Order of the Prowling Fox, and Maximilian Mad Max and his axes with a detachment of halberdiers, led by Friedrich the Foxlord of Vergessenwald, with Wenceslas the Wild, a level 2 wizard, and Sigmund, captain of the spearmen. So after an attempt from the flame cannon that fell short, and a ranging shot from the first catapult, the second catapult has hit the cannon, bang, on the lion's head, and it's destroyed. Ouch. So Niklas, what's happened?
So after destroying the cannon, the 2 units next to it had to take some panic tests. The crossbowmen are they're not easily scared, but the pistoliers behind the piece of wood there, just peeking out from the corner to see first just a wall of flame in front of them, and then one massive rock smashing into the ground, sending shards but doing no damage. But then the second rock hitting the cannon, detonating the freshly loaded powder, and probably a few body pieces hit them before they decided that this is not a fight they want to be in.
They gone. Okay, so end of Dwarf turn 1 and Empire turn 1 now, and the Foxlord is pierced, having lost a great cannon and a unit of pistoliers. So pistoliers on this flank have moved up along with the spearmen. The spearmen's detachment has broken off to go towards the woods, and the huntsmen in the woods have also moved forwards to have better line of sight. Crossbowmen have moved, so they won't be able to shoot this round, but they're in a much better position. And on this flank, the Foxlord himself is leading the way forwards, with the axemen on one side and the Knights of the Prowling Fox on the other. And there's some nasty looking slayers coming up that side, which is going to cause a bit of concern, along with rangers in the woods. This shit's about to get real. So Empire turn 1, the only casualties were 2 slayers, because Wenceslas the Wild had a doom firing hidden, which allowed him to kill 2 of them. But now we're on to Dwarf turn 2, and the war machines have been going at it. The flame cannon killed 2 of the huntsmen in the woods. The gyrocopter, which is behind here, very nearly got hit by one of the stone throwers, but luckily it had a rune of accuracy.
Yeah.
So it just went harmlessly off to one side.
Veered off just before it hit the rotors.
But now you'll see that the knights are fewer in number than they were at the start of the battle. That's 4 of them gone to a heavy rock. And now the dwarf gyrocopter has just fired for the first time and killed 4 halberdiers and 1 of the axemen. Another axeman got really lucky with his armour. End of Dwarf Turn 2, which saw the halberdier detachment panic and flee off the board. But again, the Empire army is moving up aggressively here. Gary the Griffin, ridden by Friedrich, is threatening, but not charging yet because he couldn't see them yet. The Rangers. The Axemen have moved up to take on the Slayers. The Knights are ready to pounce on the next turn. The Crossbowmen can now shoot. The Archer detachment, which is no longer acting as a detachment, marched through the woods to shoot next turn. The Huntsmen are in position, and over here the Pistoliers have moved up to present a threat to the war machines there. The Spearmen is.
So we then, after I accidentally hit stop on the record button a fraction early, then forgot to film for a little bit up until the next dwarf turn, but it's at that point where things got a little bit too interesting, really.
It's all going terribly wrong. Gary got hit, suffered a wound, but Friedrich and Gary hit back, inflicting 4 casualties. But
As a draw, the musician that you admired so much before turned the tide of the battle and forced Friedrich to flee.
so now he's going to flee.
Let's see if my dwarf will chase him down. That's the thing.
2
Since
because
you're-
he's not flying.
Yeah, since you're in the woods.
7, 8.
7 as well because I'm a dwarf, but I do catch you.
You do catch me, and he's dead. Oh, the shame of it. And now the Knights have turned tail and fled without the inspirational leadership of Friedrich and Gary. But the Axemen and Wenceslas the Wild stand firm. And the tables have turned again because Mad Max the Drunk and his Axemen decided to charge Bugman's Rangers. And Bugman's Rangers chose to flee and have just been run down by the Axemen. Oh, what kind of a dwarf chooses to flee from humans? For shame. For shame.
You're right where I want you now. Slayers are ready to go.
Yep, shuffling forwards. So, catastrophe continues for the Foxlord's army. The Axemen were annihilated by the Slayers. Once again, it was a failed leadership test, despite being stubborn. Saw them break and get run down by stumpy dwarves, leaving Wenceslas the Wild on his own out here to face 2 large units of dwarves.
Very deadly over short distances, as they say.
The Huntsmen and the Archer detachments both fled. They have now just rallied. The Gyrocopter managed to kill another Pistolier, and the Pistoliers are all the way over there now. And over here we have a stalemate as the Spearmen, with the Griffin standards, managed to beat the dwarves, who nonetheless held their grounds. And as you can see, still quite a few dwarves on the field, very few men of the Empire left. So over here we had a mighty clash of heroes as the dwarf thane called
Rorik
Rorak took on
took 3
Sigmund,
hits from the mighty Warhammer of the Empire Captain.
Captain Sigmund.
And his Rune of Stone could only go so far.
And he did. And the Spearmen have just won, but the dwarves have nonetheless managed to hold. Okay, and now the battle has ended. The Spearmen over here managed to see off the dwarf warriors, but because they have the Griffin standard in the Spearmen, They're not allowed to pursue. The Pistoliers here rallied, but not in time to do anything. The archers took pot shots at the gyrocopter and inflicted 1 wound. The crossbowmen over here rallied. And Wenceslas desperately tried to cast spells on the miners. He managed to kill 1 miner, but not enough to make them flee. And that has resulted in a victory by 1,269 points for the Dwarves, which is just a massacre. So, well done. But Rorik, the Dwarf Thane, is dead.
Yeah.
So though...
One grudge is settled, but a new is written into the Book of Grudges.
And that was an absolutely fantastic game, despite some unfortunate psychology tests, which I think, combined with the agility of the gyrocopter and the reliability of the dwarf war machines, cost me a victory. Along with, it has to be said, some poor manoeuvring on my part. It was great fun, and now we've got the next grudge to settle.